What's up, Living in Rockland? We are so excited to have Frank Garritano from Il Fresco today, one of the local Italian restaurants that everybody raves about in Orangetown. So, Frank, why don't you kick it off? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your family business.
Okay, well, good morning. Thanks for having me here. We've been here actually in March. It'll be 23 years that we've been here. It's a family operated business. It's myself, my sister, and my brother. My parents started the business in 1977. We haven't been here that long, but we've had two restaurants prior to being here. But this is kind of where we found, our home, and we just, we're here 6 days a week. We're closed on Mondays. We just started opening up lunches again this past year after COVID. My mom always called this place, it's really like our home away from home. Like we spend a tremendous amount of time here. So, it feels like home all the time.
It definitely feels like home when you come in because it's such a specific feeling, the architecture, and it's like an older feeling when you come into the building. Can you talk a little bit about the building? I know I was reading some of the history that it was like a Dutch sandstone building, and it's from like 1700s, right?
Yeah. So we, with some help from the Historical Society, I was able to gather some information. The building was built in 1728. I always joke with people. I said, my house was built in like 1951. But if my house had to fight this house would crush my house. It's it's almost 300 years old. It's there's been some additions to it, but it's the original structure. We have 6 rooms. So, aside from the kitchen, and we also have the outdoor patio, which we use for outdoor dining. The restaurant itself was originally in the Stonehouse Inn. That was originated in 1972. But before that, the building was, it was a farmhouse. It was a museum. It was the main office for the Rockland County Historical Society. And then it kind of got abandoned, but then the high school, like students, like they got involved in, helping, restore it. And, I think a lot of love has gone into this building. We just try to continue that love. It has a lot of character, but there's always a lot of upkeep. There's always a lot of things that you have to, you have to improve or fix. So we try to do whatever we can to give love to this building that's given us a lot. So we just we're happy that people come in, they feel like they're at home. And also a lot of people have a lot of great memories of the building, of the restaurant. People, when we first opened, I grew up in New Jersey, so I didn't really know the area that well. So sometimes I had to give directions, and I was kind of fumbling through that. And people were like, "Oh, is this where the Stonehouse Inn was?" Just tell people that, because everybody knew where the Stonehouse was. I had somebody, they had their daughter's rehearsal dinner here in the past year, and they were like, they said they enjoyed everything. And then he's like, I want to let you know, like my wife and I, we had our rehearsal dinner here in the Stonehouse. So it meant a lot to have their daughter's rehearsal dinner here as well. So we're happy that, that people continue to make memories here and enjoy the building as much as we do.
That's wonderful.
That's wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your specialties, your food. Like, what is it that you guys special?
We're basically Italian. We do, we have steaks as well. We bring in fresh seafood that we fillet here at the restaurant. My brother, he's the chef, and he, for as long as he's been doing this, his mindset's always been to not take any shortcuts, to always do things the right way. I think when you start taking shortcuts and you don't do things the way you're supposed to, I think people are gonna notice that eventually. So my brother's always been one to always purchase like high quality things, ingredients, use things that are fresh, and make things from scratch. Sometimes we've had people come here to work, and one of their first questions is like, like kind of what do you do ahead of time, like what do you prepare or cook ahead of time? And my brother's like, not much. Like, when the tickets come in, that's when we do things. And even like, one of our most popular dishes is, say, maybe like the chicken parmesan. So, people are, they're like, oh, do you bread these ahead of time? You get these, or you fry them ahead of time? And my brother's like, no, when people order it, that's when you dip it in egg. That's when you bread it. That's
Wow.
when, and it's, not that it's bad to do it the other way, but I think, my brother's mindset's always been like, the extra step you take, the extra effort you take, I think people will notice that.
You definitely do.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, that's kind of, I don't know, specialty. Sometimes people, like, I wait tables, and sometimes people ask me like, oh, what do you recommend? What should I have? And I always have a hard time telling people what to get. One time, a long time ago, I had someone ordered something, and she asked me to recommend something at our other restaurant, and I recommended a pasta dish, and then she was like, oh, after it came out, she's like, oh, there's garlic. I don't like garlic. So I think I've been scarred. So right now, I maybe I steer people, but I think that, there's so many things on the menu that people consider favorites that I usually tell people, like, if something catches your eye, I think that's what you should go with.
Do you guys own other restaurants too, or was this?
Oh God, no.
No, just one now.
We have our hands full with this restaurant. We had, it's always been one restaurant at a time. Okay. We had a pizzeria in Fort Lee, New Jersey for about 11 years. And then we were in Palisades Park, New Jersey for another 11 or 12 years. And then we found our way here. So, I think that we're so hands-on that I don't know, like, I find it personally, like, it would be hard to open up another place.
Right. It's time consuming.
Yeah. This is time consuming. That would be more time consuming. And now you're kind of, having to watch two places. So I'm always in awe when people do that. I know that people that they open multiple restaurants and they run them at a high level, but I think that we've just kind of been brought up that, we're the ones that have to do the work. So we're just kind of like, that's the mindset, I guess.
Well, I think that's why people come back, because, there's something to be said for when you come to a restaurant and you're always going to see your sister, yeah. There's something to be said for that. And when you start to, you open a business and you put your heart and your soul into it, and then you have other people there, there's always a face to a business, right? So when you come in and now they don't see your face anymore, people come to see you guys,
Well, I think people, when they don't see my face, I think they're happy. So I don't want to ruin anybody's dinner. But yeah, I think that, when we first, when my father first opened up the pizzeria in Fort Lee, like, he was the chef, so he was in the kitchen, and my mom, took that opportunity to be like, listen, I'm going to be in the front. I'll take care of the front, the customers. And my mother truly, she became the face. She became the personality for the restaurant. She passed in 2016, but she, to this day, people, they tell me, they remember her. They're like, oh, we used to call it, no matter what the restaurant name was, they used to call it Rita's. And for us, I think that, I guess, yeah, I think there's a certain comfort. No matter what, somebody's here. I mean, I don't think in 23 years there's been, maybe there's been one day because there was a special occasion or something that none of us were here, but there's always one of us here, and usually a few of us or all of us here. And I think that, we have a lot of people that come in that have their own businesses as well, and they kind of do the same thing. Like they're hands-on, and I think it says a lot for their businesses as well. Like I think that's the way you have to be.
Absolutely. And you're seeing less and less of that today, the small businesses and we're getting outrun by the Amazons and the chains and things like that. So it's so beautiful to still have that here. And I was also curious, can somebody, you mentioned rehearsal dinner, like can you rent out the restaurant for a private party?
Yeah, we have, so the building has a lot of seating. I think when people are surprised sometimes by, how much space there is. The thing is, the restaurant is a layout of like a home. So, we have 6 rooms. We've done events anywhere from 12 or 15 people in a private room to maybe about 100. I think it comes down to, I guess, what people are looking for. Sometimes people are looking for one open space, and and I understand that, and obviously that's not something we can do, but we've also had a lot of people when they've had events, like they like using multiple rooms. They like that it's a home. But I think the biggest room we have is the one upstairs on the 2nd floor. That room holds like 30 to mid 30s. But we do get calls for larger events, so they're using like the 1st floor, like using 2 or 3 rooms, or that patio if the weather's nice.
Very nice. So cool. And you mentioned before you opened back up for lunches too, which is great. Is that like you said you're closed on Monday or Sunday?
Yeah, so before COVID, we were open 7 days, and we had lunch Monday through Friday and dinner 7 days a week. Then we started closing Mondays. We had lost lunches, and after a couple of years, we started to try to incorporate lunches again. So right now, we have lunch Tuesday through Friday from like 12 noon to 2:30 p.m. and then we close in the afternoon for about an hour, and then we open up again for dinner, and then Mondays we're closed.
Okay. Well, Frank, thank you so much for your time today. Really lovely story. It's so nice to hear about your family and you guys continuing the tradition. I really appreciate it. We'll definitely stop in soon for some fresh pasta and some Italian food.
Okay, but I'm not going to make any suggestions. You got to pick your own.
We won't ask.
All right.
Thanks so much, Frank.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.